Price is Right, you can take me home more than kind of. My name is David Graves. Thank you so much for coming out. Please let's give it up for all the acts that came before me. Thank you, honestly. I've never been so enthralled by a man who played with his balls like that. It was amazing. A little warning, I'm a little PG-13. I've tried my best to tone it down, but I've also been told just to go for it. So it's not my goal to offend you, and if you're offended, please write me an email. I won't read it. But earlier today when I got here, I was a little nervous to perform in front of you guys, so I started pacing around the main streets of Northport. And this lady gave me the stink eye, like, what are you doing in my town? So immediately I thought I had something in my beard, some kind of food, so I started brushing my beard. Obviously she kept looking at it and she kept mean-mugging me, so I'm like, it must be on my shirt. Some kind of sandwich, so wipe the shirt clean. And she continues to mean-mug me, so I'm like, my fly must be down. So I started going for the fly to adjust it. In the matter of about 5 to 10 seconds, she saw me do this. So it's safe to say that I probably won't be invited back to Northport for a while. It was really hard growing up in the David Graves household. My dad was gone a lot. He worked. He was a blackjack dealer. He hit me until I was 21. Cheap laughs, that's good. This is a true story, and I tell it because it is a true story, and it can happen to about 50% of the room in here, I'm guessing. In the beginning of April, I woke up on the first Sunday in April, and I woke up with a terrible headache. Normally when I wake up with a terrible headache, it was because I was really awesome the night before. But that wasn't the case. So I make myself down to the local CVS, I buy like 2 gallons worth of Gatorade and about a baby size of aspirin. Put it on the counter, the CVS guy is like, oh, did you have fun last night? I'm like, no sass, CVS guy, I need to get out of here. So I get my medication, I get gone, I take pretty much a fistful of aspirin, take a nap. I wake up and I know it's time for me to meet some friends and go get some dinner, and I'm just not feeling well. Something is wrong, but I just don't want to admit that I'm not here to party, so I keep going with the night. As the night continues, we are on our way to a karaoke competition. Now, if you've ever been to a karaoke competition, it is one of the most awkward events imaginable. A bunch of your loved ones and friends are trying to sing songs that some guy wrote probably well drunk out of his gourd, and it's just bizarre. So I'm there cheering on my friend, and all of a sudden, I have this huge pain in my groin, and I'm just trying to figure out what in the world is going on. So, after a while, I make myself to the bathroom to investigate, and I get myself to my little stall, and I'm looking, and as I'm giving myself a once over, I see that my right testicle is the size of a large kiwi. I know, that was my reaction. I literally said, oh no. So, at this point, my first reaction is like, I should go to the doctor. That's exactly what I should do. But my friend Emily's gonna beat me up if I don't stay for the competition. So I hung out for the competition, as any unintelligent man would do. And at this point, I can feel the gravity pulling down on it a little harder, so I'm trying to lean against everything I can to try to relieve the pain. And I'm just sweating bullets. I finally make the wise decision to leave. I leave, and I go home, and I get intimate with a bag of frozen peas. And I decide that in the morning, if things aren't better, I will go to the doctor, because that's smart. So I wake up. I get really excited. I check the left's doing good, there's hope. I check the right, and it's about the size of a mango. I'm like, this isn't good anymore. So I tell myself I need to go to the doctor, and as I'm getting ready, I realize I need to call in the work still. Like, what do you tell your work? You can't tell your work actually what's going on, so the next logical step is you have to tell them that you have diarrhea. Because nobody's going to question it. Everyone's going to be like, okay, that's acceptable reason, stay home for today. So I go to the doctor, I check into the urgent care, and when you're checking into the urgent care, there's a lady there who takes your form and fills everything out for you. And she's asking me, what's the matter? So I tell her my right testicle is the size of a mango. And she got so excited. Like this was the best news she's heard. Like this is her career moment as this input lady at the urgent care. So coming up, nurse comes up to get my vitals. And the nurse goes, why are you here? Well, my right testicle's huge. And the lady behind the counter goes, the size of a mango, right? Like she's still really excited about my ailment. So I make my way to the little room that they hide me in, the little prison, if you will. And I'm there waiting and waiting. And the nurse comes up. She comes up with this pair of shorts and this little cup. She's like, put on the cup, or put on the shorts, fill up the cup the best you can. So I fill it up to the brim. No more, no less. If they want to run an extra test, I want to make sure that they have enough. And I wait, and I wait, and I wait. All of a sudden the doctor comes in and asks me to read my shorts, and he looks at the testicle and he goes, ooh. I'm like, way to be professional, doctor. So he starts poking at the right testicle. He's like, does this hurt? Does this hurt? Does this hurt? I'm like, yeah, that hurts. So he started poking at the left one. He's like, does this hurt? Does this hurt? Does this hurt? I'm like, gosh, yes, that still hurts. The thing that was most disconcerting about this doctor is that with the right one being the one that needed the treatment, he was way more interested on the one on the left. And it really confused me, but he definitely had a favor that day. So he told me about the test, came back in, and he said that it's no cancer, nothing wrong with that. But it might be testicular torsion. Now, for those of you who don't know what testicular torsion is, it's where your left testicle wants to see what it's like being on the right side, and vice versa. Right. So he leaves me be as I have my smartphone and WebMD the heck out of everything, paranoid, freaking myself out. All of a sudden, a lady comes by. She's like, Mr. Graves, we need to get you into the ultrasound right now. Perfect. So I haul myself out the room and I see a wheelchair. I'm like, what's the wheelchair for? Well, I guess once you're in urgent care, you need to be escorted everywhere you go. I didn't know. So I sit in the wheelchair, and if you guys haven't picked up on this, I'm a fairly large man. I know it's not obvious to some, but who do you think they get me to move me around in this wheelchair? They got a 78-year-old woman by the name of Vera. Who was maybe about 70 pounds wet, about a good 5'2", and she was struggling to push me along. So I'm like, Vera, honey, like, please allow me to assist you. And I'm grabbing the wheels to try to roll it along. She's like, you can't do that, sir. You'd be in trouble. So as she's bringing me around, there's the lobby's full of people, and they're all seeing this very large man being wheeled around by someone's nana. It was very embarrassing. So I make my way into the ultrasound, and the lady's like, please remove your shorts. And I remove my shorts, and she looks at my testicle, and she goes, ooh. I'm like, that's still not classy, man. That's still not classy. So she applies the gel onto the right testicle, and she starts moving the wand around. She's like, well, just to let you know, it's a good sign. There's no tumors, no torsion, nothing like that. I'm like, thank God. She's like, but you want to hear something really neat? Okay, what could be wrong? She turns on her speakers on her computer, and she's like, well, the sound that's coming out, that's the blood going through your testicles. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Because I kid you guys not, it sounded like the opening to an Enya song. It was beautiful. So, she wanted to check the left one just to be sure, so she's applying the gel. As soon as she puts the wand on, I ask her if it's a boy or a girl. She tells me that's not a funny joke. I apologize. As soon as she's done checking, she throws a thing of paper towel at me. She's like, clean up and get out of here. I'm like, that's really rude. I'm used to cuddling. So I get up, I go back out there, and there's the wheelchair and Vera ready to roll. So me and Vera make our way back down to the room, and I'm waiting for the doctor. And the doctor's like, well, it's an infection. I'm like, how do you think I got it, doctor? He's like, I don't know what you do on a day-to-day. I'm like, okay, that's fair. But I'm going to prescribe to you all these pills. Now, personally, I don't like taking medication. So I asked him, like, what can I do to not take this medication? He's like, well, you can't beat it out of you. I'm like, okay, doctor. Thank you for assuming that was an option. So the only real nice thing about this urgent care is that they had a built-in pharmacy to it. So I take my slip to the pharmacy, I check in, and I hand it to the lady. And the lady's reading over the pills, and she's like, what's the matter with you? I'm like, I would rather not say. I've had a long day here. So I sit down to wait for my order, I hear her typing on the computer, and all of a sudden I hear her go, ooh.